What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Hosley, and this week I learned the PS2 version of Silent Hill is now selling for like $150, which is fucking ridiculous because that shit wasn't some like limited release game back in 2001. The fucking resale video game market is just like ridiculous now. Horrible.
I'm Kevin Matthews, a Scottish film fan living in England, and this week I will be referred to as the Laird of Laughter, or the Highlander of Ha 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 Time, or the I don't know, just Chuckles the Funky Scots Monkey or something.
I'm Dave Gray, and this week I get to tell Tyler that the PS1 version of the original Silent Hill goes for $250, dude.
Ridiculous. You know, I bought that shit at Best Buy for like $19.99 back when it was in fucking Best Buy.
Yeah, I had to sell my copy this year, and I got really fucked by it, so I'm still salty. I needed money quick.
And hi, I'm Craig, film enjoyer living in England, and I am enjoying the fact that Tyler is so old now. He's really got into his nostalgic reminiscing about when he could buy things cheaper at Best Buy. We're all old now. We're all a little quadrangle of old fucking people.
Bunch of old men.
Yeah, and COVID kind of fucked it. If you ever look at like the prices on those, once you hit like January 2020, like prices on old games just skyrocket.
It's a shame we don't all live closer together because we could go for an early bird special together. That'd be really nice.
Fantastic. That would be that's the goal, guys.
One day. And welcome to Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay!
I did not watch a lot this week because I never space out the films. Okay, you tell us one week, so I should watch one once a week. I don't. I have to watch 4 in a week, and because I'm just an absolute expert at leaving everything to the last minute. So I didn't watch a lot this week. I watched a true crime documentary on, I think it was on HBO over there. It was partly produced by A24. It's called The Yogurt Shop Murders. That was really good. I've watched a lot of true crime documentaries over the last, I don't know, however many years, 5, 6, 7 years, and I've watched them get worse and worse and worse, more just thrown together just to turn the buck. So it's always nice when you settle in to watch a documentary and you realise it's been made very professionally by someone who has a story to tell. And this one was really good. It had a really nice, almost, God damn it, who's a famous documentarian? American documentarian.
Errol Morris?
Yeah, it had a slight vibe to it, the way it was shot, and it was just nice to see a professionally true crime documentary for the first time in ages, and it's a really good one. You've got 4 episodes. You got an awful crime about four female teenagers murdered horribly. You've got the investigation with a certain amount of police corruption, and then you've got at least one very dodgy arrest, and possibly like some other what's the term? I've really tried not to write notes these days, as many notes, so I don't end up reading them and sounding robotic, and now I just can't remember any. But yeah, there are several miscarriages of justice, some definite, some we're never going to know, but it all boils down to, there's a really good section on a book called The Reed Technique, which I assume Dave has heard of, which is used in interviews, in police interviews across the globe, but certainly across the USA, and it's an interview technique that it kind of works to brainwash people into giving false confessions. Like at least one in this documentary is proven to be completely false, and there are possibly others. It's quite frightening. It goes into like how false confessions are brought about, and it's really kind of terrifying, the shit that police get away with. And it was just a really, really, really interesting documentary, and I recommend that. So, Yogurt Shop Murders on HBO in the US. We had to download it. I can't remember where it's. I think it might end up on Now TV in the UK. But that was really good. You heard of the read technique, Dave?
I have. Yeah, it's let's call it problematic. But it's one of those ones. There's a few that are really popular now, where somebody will come in and and I'm using air quotes. This is why we don't use video, so you don't see our ugly selves, but you also can't see what I'm doing, like the air quote thing.
Yeah.
Air quote, teaching police how to do things, and one likes to tell them to violate people's rights and break the law as much as possible because they realize people don't know the law while fishing for shit.
Yeah.
But the other is the read technique, and the read associates will come in. It's REID, and they will teach them this 9-step thing in like a day. And basically, they decide you're lying immediately, and then they will, See, they'll go in like as your buddy,
Yeah.
and they'll try to read nonverbal cues, which are total bullshit. Same with verbal analysis, just absolute bullshit. And then they'll they'll go out of their way to lead you to certain ways. That's why children, Uncle Dave's going to tell you something.
Lawyer up, don't say shit.
Exactly. Never talk to the fucking cops. Doesn't matter if you're innocent.
No.
Because it's positive confrontation, shift blame away from the suspect to someone else, minimize frequency of denials, and then they try to give and then acknowledge the reason why they couldn't do it, and then reinforce their view until they're receptive to you, and then when they shut up, you push the lie on them and they call it alternate questions, where you give two choices. One's more socially acceptable than the other until you can lead them to an admission of guilt in front of another cop.
Yes, it's fucking awful. But yeah,
it's
whether you're innocent
brutal, and they will
or guilty, lawyer up always.
Yeah, always lawyer up.
So I would recommend the Yogurt Shop Murders, and Dave might find that little portion quite interesting. I would. The only other thing I watched was a horror movie which just popped up on horror. Yeah, it's a horror movie. It just pops up on Netflix. I wanted to watch it last. Pops up on Netflix. It's called Birth Rebirth. It's a kind of a mix of, say, Reanimator with it came out this year. Bring Her Back. Yeah, a bit of Bring Her Back. Bit of I picked it for this podcast, and you guys hated it. It was I think maybe an Irish film about a woman who's back to life called A Dark Song. Bits of all of those together. It's basically about a pathologist who teams up with a nurse to try and restore her once dead daughter to life, and it's really good. It's dark and it is twisted, but it has some really good dark humor in it too, and I really like the cast. Like Marin Island, I pretty much always enjoy, but Judy Reeves from Scrubs, like I haven't seen her in since Scrubs, and here she's playing another nurse in a very different role, and she's really fantastic. And I kind of looked at Bring Her Back and how much attention the female lead, who is quite famous, but I can't remember her name because I can't remember anything today. She's getting a lot of attention. People say maybe she should get an Oscar nomination. Judy Reeves is just as good in this film, and it's just a film that went under the radar, which is a shame. But it's dark. It is really heartbreaking at points. It's funny. But some people might feel like it is a little too open, a little too rushed, a little too blunt. But I liked it. It opens up possibilities that you're left to consider and work with. I know Kevin liked it because I saw in the letterbox that he'd seen it, and I think I mostly agreed with him on everything he said. You gave it an 8 or a 4?
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think it was either on Shudder a while ago or I saw it somewhere else. It had some good festival buzz for a while.
It did,
I think, which put it on the radar for me. And like I agree with you absolutely on the leads. I mean, I think they were both just fantastic, and yeah, especially seeing Rice in that kind of role.
Yeah, she was really fantastic, and she wasn't one of my favourite Scrubs characters. She's not someone I'm seeing, but now I'm seeing her capabilities as an actress in this one. I hope I see a lot more of her. 'Cause she's a talent, which I didn't really notice before. But yeah, Rebirth is a good one, and that's me. Not a lot watched this week.
I also didn't watch a lot of stuff. So I'll just get this out of the way. I was asked to do someone a favor and fix their air purifier, and while I did that, to pay me, they gave me the Kino Cult double feature Blu-ray of Teaserama and Verities and Buxom Bow Tees. So I watched some old burlesque from Kino Cult, and you know what? 2 thumbs up. Didn't watch all of them, but I did watch some of them, and I learned things. Some great grannies were fine.
Okay.
Uh,
When you say you
Besides
watched the
that,
burlesque video, we didn't watch them till the end. We know what you mean.
no, it's 342 minutes of burlesque, and I do not have
The staying power. I get
stamina.
it. I get it.
That's right. Exactly.
I'm still wondering if 2 thumbs up was your rating or one of the acts caught on camera.
Both. Both. I also followed that up with a rewatch of 2 superhero things that I quite love that we haven't covered yet, but I'm sure we will one day because a new one just recently came out. Can you guys guess what that was?
No.
I watched the original Toxic Avenger from 1984.
Oh, yes.
Produced and directed by Michael Hers and Lloyd Kaufman. Who I think Kaufman was he's credited as Samuel Weir or Weil. It's a different name than Lloyd Kaufman. I always wondered why, but I never read his book. I should read his book. I absolutely love the Toxic Avenger. It is just fun and ridiculous.
Quite
and
sweet
over the
as well.
top. And it does have a very sweet heart. It really does. I like that they just straight up make the chief of police a Nazi. See, we'll talk about how folks like to say you couldn't make that these days, but they did. They did make that these days because there's a new one. I haven't seen it yet, but everyone has told me that it's just as, if not more than the original, which, yay. I followed that up with, you guys want to guess?
Toxic Avenger 2?
No, with the Toxic Avenger the musical,
Ooh.
which that is from 2018. I think it's the West End staging. It's still set in New Jersey, and I think all the cast is still American. Toxic Avenger the musical is absolutely adorable. I am quite fond of it. It does a lot of fun things. The various takes on the Toxie outfit are pretty fucking hilarious. And the music is by David Bryan. Do you guys know who David Bryan is?
No.
Tyler, you know David Bryan.
Name rings a bell.
David Bryan. Why is it not
David
ringing a
Bryan.
bell?
He's a member of one of the biggest hair metal bands of all time.
Is it Bon Jovi?
He is the keyboard player for Bon Jovi. Correct.
So, yeah. Like it was. I had a blank there for a minute.
Yeah, he wrote the Toxic Avenger musical. He's actually written a couple musicals, and they're all actually not bad. To be completely and totally honest, he's written them all with Joe DiPatrio, I think is his name. Anyway, they're 2 Jersey boys writing musicals on occasion.
Feels like the Bon Jovi band are people who do really good stuff when they're not in Bon Jovi.
Yeah, they kind of are. Yeah, most of them. I have nothing against Bon Jovi. I have a soft spot for them, but I'm an old man from that time period. I think everyone my age has a soft spot for Bon Jovi in the U.S.
Well, I've seen John Bon Jovi, like footage of him like washing up and cooking in soup kitchens, which he's paid for, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't really matter about the music. You're just you're a good dude.
Yeah. So it's a solid musical, and it was filmed for Broadway HD, but you can find it other places if you don't want to pay for Broadway HD. But if you enjoy musicals, you should get Broadway HD. It's not expensive. And that was me. Some burlesque and some Toxic Avenger, which could also be considered burlesque now that I think about it. I suck with the theme and I ran with it.
Well, because I don't want you guys to think that I never listen to you or ever get round to things that are added to the list. I watched that Devo documentary that Craig praised last week.
Ah, yay.
And it was very good. Yeah. Like it's just it was consistently interesting. There's great footage, and as you mentioned last week, Craig, like the kind of story of their genesis is wild.
Yeah.
Sort of how they ended up forming what the catalyst was. But really good. It wasn't full of stuff that I heard and then thought, oh yeah, I know that one too. I'm still not overly familiar with Devo, but I did forget they did that fun version of I Can't Get No Satisfaction, and a little story about that was very good as well. But yeah, it was good, and it kind of like it did immediately set me wanting to dig into their discography, which is kind of weird because a lot of the times they're saying, yeah, we wanted to keep pushing people away and see who left. Basically, is what they're saying. But that's I second Craig's recommendation. That was on Netflix. It's very good. I had less success elsewhere. I had a very mixed bag. I watched a film called Toxic. That was another very good one, and it's one of those that when I finished it, I thought, do I recommend this to Tyler? And I was like, is it grimy and gritty enough? And it's not really. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Tyler. It's from 2024, but it's about two young girls in Lithuania. I think it's Lithuania. They don't start off as friends. They're quite hostile to one another, and then they bond for a while. They're going to a local modelling school, and that could be their chance to get out. Have you heard of it or seen it at all?
I am looking at it right now, and I really like the poster, so I'm down to check this out.
But I don't like. I don't know. I don't know if like content wise it would be in your wheelhouse, but it's got that. Like it's definitely got that look. It's a bit grimy. It's kind of filtered through grey in quite a few scenes. I was like, this could be Tyler's back, but it never. I don't think it ever goes sort of dark or as heavy as it could, but it feels like I don't know. It's almost just showing you something from a slightly different POV from what we usually get. Although we've seen these kind of tales before many times. I liked it, and the young leads were good. I don't think they'd acted before. I think they were kind of picked to be natural. Sometimes you've got to sit there and watch something you're not really keen to watch, but you've spent too many weekends picking your own choices, and someone who shall remain nameless is in the mood for something soppy. Yeah, that was Vicky. She made us watch something soppy. So we watched The Map That Leads to You. And I'm not recommending that to any of you. But it was passable. It's a glossy young person romance movie that feels like a Nicholas Sparks movie, directed by Lasse Hallström. So I thought, oh, I've liked some of his work. This might be all right. That was an incorrect assumption. It was just glossy and passable. But Tyler will probably watch this sometime because I think he likes Madeline Klein more than I do.
I do like Madeline Klein.
And she's in this. She's the lead. It's everything you think it's going to be, which is kind of a travelogue with some, emotional, painful hurdles for the leads to deal with. And another one of those films where you just think, if someone had said something half an hour before the end, this would be done now, sorted. It wouldn't be any big drama. Controversially, if in case Stephanie ever does accidentally listen to us, I wasn't a big fan of Eddington and rated that at about the same as The Map That Leads to You, but for different reasons. I can't remember. You liked Eddington, didn't you?
I did very much.
Let's ignore Dave's interruption and have him stewing
Sorry.
there for
No,
ages while
no,
he tries to fit
fine,
in
I'm
his
not.
opinion on it. You had your chance, Dave. No,
I did have my
you're done.
chance. No, I'm
you-
done. I am done. I'm
no,
sorry.
fine.
No, I need to mute when it's not my turn. I'm sorry.
Did you see Eddington?
I did, but I remembered something else
All
I
right.
saw this week. But I'm not going to tell you about it because it's on my list. It's like I just totally forgot I watched it until just now. So
Yeah, I think I have issues with how things are presented and anything. It's kind of tricky to pin down because I think we all agree that films showing characters acting badly or morally reprehensible characters or characters just with different viewpoints, they're not films that you have to then judge the director, the writer, everyone involved in that film in that way. And you can have films with people that are people you wouldn't want to meet in real life or you wouldn't like. There are all these things that go into films. I think Eddington, like there are some moments in there where I could see what Astor was doing and see how he was mining the humor from what's still a bit of a sore spot in a dark time. It's the pandemic ripping through 2020, but that then fades away, and for me, he was almost throwing stuff at a wall and trying to get things to stick on the way to the ending. So once again, it's overlong. It doesn't work as well as I think it needs to for this kind of material being used for this. And I just think Astor's at the point now where they've kind of given him, I would say, a bit too much free rein. It just didn't work for me. Although I'm assuming there are still quite a few Astor fans who love this. I don't. You liked it. I can't remember if you said whether or not Stephanie really liked it, or if she was at all disappointed.
We both really liked it. It's like our least favorite Astor, like by a good distance, but we really enjoyed it. Essentially, it's what the Coen brothers used to do. Just a pandemic Coen brothers dark comedy, and I really liked it. I personally didn't think it was a particularly political film. I think it's about the human condition, and the politics are just something that the human condition relates to. It's more. I just didn't. I thought the politics was the way in, but not really what it was about. I don't know. I really liked it. I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
I do. I get your point. I just think with him bringing these things up to make some plot points around or beats, that then it feels like you need to do better with those elements when they're there.
Yeah.
But now I just want to see a Coen Brothers pandemic black comedy, you son of a bitch. Because and last, sort of on a par with the least of them, we watched Eeny Meeny. It popped up on Disney Plus. Had Samara Weaving in there. You know, it is sold as the standard, getaway driver is out of the business and pulled in for one last job. I was like, oh, I'm down for that kind of film with Samara Weaving in the main role. Yeah, this is another one where you can kind of tell it's that first film from someone, who's been given a directing gig after years of, doing writing that's helped people out. Sean Simmons wrote and directed this, and he's got his name on quite a lot of different TV show episodes. I don't know, like, this isn't, the fun is kind of outweighed by some of the grit they try and add, and then the grit and tension is kind of outweighed by the fact that, well, they have Samara Weaving in the lead role, so you're still going to be rooting for her to do well and hoping that goes all right. It's a mishmash there. It doesn't help that the character that sort of gets her stuck back in this one last job is her on-off boyfriend, played by Carl Glusman, and like his character's terrible. It just doesn't get enough of an arc to turn things around on the way to finale. And I'm saying that because they obviously try to do one or two little moments that are meant to make you think, oh well, there's something there, or you can see why they've been together, or you can see why she'll still care for him. There isn't that bit that works. There is a nice little, I was going to say a cameo, but he's in quite a few scenes. It's Andy Garcia is the sort of the heavy, the gangster boss who's getting this job done, and he's quite good in that role. He's in a few scenes, so he's good. Weaving's good. You do get a couple of decent bits of the driving action, which they work well. I wish there'd been more. But yeah, I was talking to someone at my work who also watched this, and they liked it more than I did. Vicky liked it more than I did, but I would say it's decidedly average. Which is a worrying trend for Samara Weaving's filmography of late. I can't think of the last time she was in something that was that felt really worthy of her talent. As much as I had mixed feelings about the film, like she was very good in her very small role in Babylon. But get her in something decent again. I don't know.
Never.
I'll make a
Never.
red baseball cap saying, like, make Weaving great again. That's what I'll do. What have you got against Samara Weaving, Dave?
Nothing that her manager doesn't have against her.
Well, yeah, that's true. The manager must be right. I mean, I've done all the best deals for Hugo. Your uncle got there years before you. I'm sorry. You're stuck with Eeny Meeny for now.
Oh, feel like she's.
God, she did Eeny Meeny and Borderline in the same year. What a shitty year she's having.
I feel like she's eating
Fire your
Margot Robbie's
manager.
table scraps. I think that's her issue. She's just.
Yeah.
I liked her in Guns Akimbo. I thought she was really good in that.
Yep, that was like a decade ago, dude.
Yeah,
That was forever ago.
Isn't that like 2020?
Whatever. There was a pandemic.
I don't
It's a
know.
decade ago.
It feels like longer. Like she was fun that, and she was great, and she was in both those babysitter movies, wasn't she?
Yep.
She's got a really small role in. God damn it, 3 Billboards, and she's very, very funny in that.
2019. She's the only thing that isn't shit in the last Scream movie, but she's only in it for 4 seconds. So
Yeah, she's great in that opener, but she's just I can't remember the last
30
time
seconds.
she had a sizable role that was worked well. So it's a shame. Anyway, that is me.
Just one for me this week. I went to the theater and I saw Freakier Friday, which was adorable. Look, I usually don't go to the theater to watch a PG rated Disney movie. It's just not something that I do very often. But I love the original a lot. And again, the cast for this is really good. Lohan is good. Curtis is great. Jamie Lee Curtis is fucking great in this movie. The new younger cast is really good. Lohan's daughter is she's really good in this. Um, Chad Michael Murray's scenes were fucking hysterical. He was honestly like the standout for me in this whole movie. He's really good in this. He doesn't have a very big role, but his scenes are really funny. That there's a record store scene that involved Britney Spears that just made me laugh. It was really good. Um, but if you like the first at all, I can't see you not liking this one. It's kind of more of the same, but just with a lot more body switching. And Pink Slip comes back. That's a great fictional band. I wish it was real. But yeah, I really like that one a lot. So, and that's me.
This week we watched the 20 hold on, I scrolled down. the 2018 claymation film Chuck Stee, Night of the Trampires. The 2024 American crime comedy Drugstore June. The 2024 American pregnancy comedy Babes, and the 2025 American buddy comedy One of Them Days. Hey, Dave. Yes, Dave. Would you like to pick a movie and tell us about it? I would. So I'm going to start with Chuck Stee, Night of the Trampires. This is actually Chuck's second screen adventure. The first one was a short. I don't remember actually what year the short came out. It was a couple years before. Maybe 2 or 3 years before. I'm gonna look it up real quick. It was 2013, so it was actually longer than I thought, but not a lot. It's not 1985 anymore. It's 1986, and Chuck Stee is refusing to speak to the departmental shrink in a fairly mostly solid callback to Lethal Weapon, much to the chagrin of his long-suffering boss, Captain Jack Shit. But the maverick cop Chuck soon stumbles on vampire homeless or Trampires, and with the help of crazed Trampire hunter Abraham Van Rental, he soon takes on the scourge himself, alone, with a partner who's going to die a lot. I started with this one first because for me, this one was the worst of the week. And it's not that I disliked it. Overall, I enjoyed it. There's some really solid bits of on-screen anarchy. There's a lot of jokes that really land when it sticks to being like a parody on the genre. But the first 20 minutes are really rough because the first 20 minutes, it is so desperate to be offensive. And most of that is not funny. Most of that is just cringe, eye-rolling, lazy jokes. And that really does hurt it. But then once it really gets going, it's a lot of fun. Mike Mort does the director, writer, head animator, does 4 or 5 voices. He voices Chuck, Abraham Van Rental. I think he voices Jack Shit and 2 of the other cops also, which is why some of the voices are just, you hear them and you go, who the fuck thought that was a good voice to use for anything? Well, it's a man who's already using every voice he can do for other roles. And yeah, fortunately those guys don't have a lot of lines, but it is noticeable. Jennifer Saunders voices the psychiatrist, and she does fairly well with it. The rest of the cast is fine for I think only one or two of them are actually, professional voice actors. I think a lot of them are folks that he leaned into the hallway and he said, "Hey, come here,
Mhm.
read this." And I like that. I give things more of a pass for doing that. But generally, on the whole, if you want a ridiculous '80s style action film, Chuck Steele's about the closest you're gonna find today. When it's fun, it's a lot of fun, and it kind of makes winks at a sequel, and I kind of hope they do. They made it. I think it was 25 million, which is not shit for claymation. It's a lot of time and a lot of work to get very little done on a very slow way. But that this got a release. I don't think it got like a wide release. It did like he got the money and it did a couple festivals. I'm not even sure who ultimately ended up releasing it wide. But it's a solid 90 minutes. It might be 88 minutes, but it's a solid little time to have if that's what you're looking for, because when it does it well, it does it really well. They have a real grasp on the material that they're gently poking fun at. And the character design is solid. I mean, it's standard claymation caricature. Like obviously, Mort watched a lot of California Raisins as a child. I mean, because I'm 99% sure that Chuck's face is just one of the California Raisins dyed white. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. Mike Mort's actually been around for a while. He did a show called Gogs, I think, back in the 90s. It didn't last very long. They were very short episodes, and he did a feature based on them. But it was fun. This one's better. He also made something called Deadly Tantrum, which is live action. It has claymation in it also. But it's a fun little horror short. If you get a chance, you should look it up. He does good stuff, and it's a shame that he works in a thing that's so slow that it takes him forever. He was a director on Shaun the Sheep, so he has family friendly fare out there too. If you're really, really hard pressed for a reason to justify buying it, you can say, it's from a guy that worked on Shaun the Sheep, honey. And that's it. It's not bad. It's not the strongest we did this week, but it's solid.
Shall I go, T, or do you want to go?
No, go for it.
Okay. I would say for the first 2/3 of this one, I was kind of 50-50 on it, because there was always stuff that I liked, but everything that I liked kind of came with a caveat. Like visually, that's the strongest element of the film is its visuals. Like it's really, really well animated, and it's really well lit. It just looks really good, but the sets in this are absolutely incredible in their detail and what they add to the film. Like the sets in this are absolutely. There's so much that works for me visually, but I hated the character design. I really hated it. It's up there with Despicable Me for just really, really ugly human character design. I did not like it. That's a perfect thing, I guess. But they just felt very lazy and very ugly. But generally, like visually, it's really strong. Like I say, that's fucking great. And the writing, I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it did visual gags better than it did written gags. Like there's a scene where somebody walks into a hospital room after something awful, and the line is, it's not what it looks like, and that's not funny. But what's going on as he says that is funny. I think there are kind of weak written gags that lead into good visual gags. So I mostly found it quite funny. I just there are bits that kind of made me cringe. Although Abraham Van Rent, that's a terrible gag, and I laughed at it every time I heard it, and because I had the subtitles on, I kept seeing it every time his character spoke. So, and I just kept seeing Abraham kept making me laugh, and it is awful. That's a terrible gag, but sometimes the terrible ones just kind of grab you. The voice actors, you know what? I thought every actors in this were actually stronger than Mike Moore. I thought that when you're parodying a character, you just really want it to be a straight up parody. You also want to create an actual character as well, and that's not how his voices just came off as pure parody and not characters in themselves. And I thought that actually the supporting cast did a lot better with the voice acting. Like I say it had me at 50. It didn't. It had me at like I was enjoying it, but caveat, always a little something that kind of didn't work for me until the third act. And the third act of this film is absolute blast. Like, it's a triumph technically. Like the action is actually pretty incredible at times, and the claymation fucking it rules. Like every Trampire death, especially every sunlight death, is absolutely fantastic. Just beautifully animated and just really fantastically kind of gruesome. I really liked that third act. That really brought me back from kind of just it was kind of middling. Takes off, and it's just that's about just 20 minutes where it's just solidly like gut busting, like laughter and insane gores and twists and madness that I really wasn't expecting, and it goes a lot further than I expected it to do. Everyone involved in the animation deserves kudos because they did an absolutely fantastic job. Overall, I liked Chuck Stee. I'd watch another one. I think the script could have had another one over. Other than that, yeah, I really like it. I guess one issue I had was like the cliches are so that you parody them. Thank you. I get that's what you do. There are cliches, you parody them. But sometimes these cliches are so well that even at times the parody feels cliche. Do you know what I mean? It feels like this parody has been done many, many times before, and it just feels elements of it feel a little like second, third hand. I kind of almost think like a non-comedic like 80s style action flick would be more subversive than a parody of one at this point, because it's all a bit obvious. But I had a good time overall. Definitely down for a sequel. This was a good one, but like Dave said, this was my least favourite of the week, but still good fun.
I really thought I was going to fucking hate this going in. Like, no joke. This was the one I was dreading the most because honestly, I find most claymation and stop motion to be a fucking eyesore to look at. And I still do. I really don't like this style of animation at all. But I didn't mind the use of it here. And this genuinely made me laugh. Like, a lot. Like, I loved the humor in this. It's raunchy and crass. All the jokes just landed for me. I was cracking up throughout this movie. Like, throughout. Really liked all of Mike Mort's voice acting, especially for Chuck Stee. I really loved his voice acting for Chuck Stee. It was hilarious. It's super violent and gory, which I also wasn't expecting at all before pushing play on this thing. I was getting some like early Peter Jackson vibes with the violence in this. That and some like Team America thrown in. It's like this goofy hybrid satire of 80s buddy cop movies while also being like a mashup of horror and action, a little sci-fi thrown in. Yeah, this was a blast and a total surprise for me because like I said, I really thought I was going to hate this going in because I don't like stuff like Shaun of the Sheep and fucking Wallace and Gromit. It's ugly. I just think claymation is ugly. But I really like this one and it actually worked for me. So yeah, this was a solid pick, Kevin. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was the one out of the four that I thought if Tyler hates one, it's gonna be this one. But hopefully, it wouldn't hurt you too much. That's what I was thinking because I was like, it is so funny, and it's being so cheesy, and But I know you don't necessarily rush to watch animated films, and we've picked some before that you've hated. But I thought it was good enough, and I thought it was good enough to remind other people that it's out there. Because this is, it's done, I think, probably quite well for what it is, but it definitely feels like one of those little films that has been made with real blood, sweat, and tears, and you can see that in some of the bigger scenes, as Craig was saying about the third act, really, a finale, and all of the like gags and the deaths and the details, like they're pretty phenomenal, and just how much is packed in there and how well made they are. This is this is a really nice mix of animation that seems crude and lo-fi, but is also really just beautifully crafted and and quite often perfect. It's funny that you mentioned Peter Jackson because I think that in the finale, I get reminded of Brain Dead, which is, I think you guys still call Dead Alive. There's a big beastie here that reminds me of that. Um, so yeah, I loved this from the first time I saw it. I can't remember. I think it's maybe something that I saw a trailer for and thought that looks good to me, and actually took a gamble on it, and it was right up my alley. The I know what Craig's saying about the tropes and the cliches are almost already parody on their own anyway. They're kind of self parody, but I think that's why this pushes through the level of silliness that allows it to almost like circle back round and still ring the humor of the parody. Like the dying partners gag is I really like that at the start with the chief. Like there is a visual gag there as well. Chief saying like
Rip Mr.
shot himself.
Giggles.
It's like that. And I love the his macho attempts to chat up a nurse, and then when things are wrong, he's kind of like out of my way, lesbian, storming through. I just thought he's very the character is rooted in that terrible 80s machismo, and that is peeled away further towards the end. I generally like the voice work. Jennifer Saunders is here as well in a role that she works well in, but a lot of them provided by Mike Moore. I think he does well enough there, and yes, I like the fact that there's someone here who is not just Lethal Weapon, but wasn't Mary Ellen Trainor in a couple of action movies of the 80s or 80s and 90s in a similar role? I think she was. And so it doesn't, to me, the character in Chuck Steele doesn't just feel like, oh, it's her from Lethal Weapon. It feels like Mary Ellen Trainor from the couple of different action movies where she was given the same role. So I like that. I think
I
this is
mean,
one that
well, yeah, she's the
no,
shrink in Lethal Weapon, but I don't think she's a shrink in any of the other stuff I can think of.
I can't remember if she was a shrink or like a an admin or something.
I mean,
The I
she's
can't
the
recall, but
she's the mom in The Goonies and Monster Squad. She's in Ghostbusters 2. She's pops up as some kid's mother, but I think in all the others she's just like I think you just narrowed her down to just being
maybe it's just because of her in all. She's in all four Lethal
she's in
Weapons, isn't
all
she?
4 Lethal Weapons. Yeah.
Maybe it's just that. I thought she was in one or two others playing a similar role. Like she's definitely been there, but as you say, maybe not as the the work site psychiatrist. Uh, but yeah, I loved how I could view her specifically Mary Ellen Trainor for me, as opposed to just that kind of role. But I just love it, and I think people who have enjoyed all of those movies from from the 80s heyday would get a lot of fun from this. There's a risk that it might kind of wear you down by the time it gets to the ending, because it's it's going with the standard plotting, but it's also trying to throw enough uh, little set piece gags in here and there to keep it all moving. But I could see some people watching it and feeling like some of the more redundant moments are just filler as they're waiting to get to that. It's not a concern of mine because I love it thoroughly all the way through, but I can see how some people might feel that way. I'm a big fan of Mike Mort's work on this, and I bought Chuck Steel on digital, and I got the Blu-ray as well. I think, if I remember rightly, I ordered it direct from the website. I'm sure it's like just a it's it's just like chucksteel.com or something, and that seemed to be the best way to support Mort and his work. But it has been available for a while. Um, yeah, really nice, fun stuff, and I'm glad at least none of you hated it. I am already heartened if this was your least favorite of the week, but you still found enough to enjoy. So
Don't be
I will
that
throw
hard.
the ball.
It's gonna get worse for you before it gets better.
Well, I'll throw the ball back to T then, and you can keep your little bowl of negativity in front of you, Dave.
I am going to go with my no spoilers, I guess. What kind of spoiler? I'm going with my favorite movie of the week. I'm going with One of Them Days, which is about two best friends played by Kiki Palmer and SZA, who discover that the boyfriend of one of the girls has stolen their rent money, forcing them into a desperate race against time to earn enough cash to avoid eviction by the end of the day. I fucking love this movie a lot. It's one that I can easily see myself going back to really often. Just I've seen it like 3 times already, and it's a blast every time. I love the cast. Kiki Palmer is wonderful, as she always is. I love Kiki Palmer, and SZA fucking rocks it. I mean, she's so good in this. She's like a natural talent, and I never would have thought that going into this. Like, I didn't think. I mean, I don't really listen to her music, but I didn't think she would be that great of an actress, and she's really fucking good in this. They have like great best friend chemistry together too. They play off each other really well. I love these two together in this movie. It's like natural chemistry, and they're just so good together. Maud Apatow was good in her small role. Cat Williams was funny. I mean, plot wise, it's a standard premise, but it's genuinely funny and made with such energy that it truly makes it stand out above a lot of the comedies released in the past few years for me. I mean, it just felt like such a throwback to the 90s, early 2000s era of urban comedies like Friday and Next Friday. Just, yeah, from start to finish, this movie is a fucking blast and the cast is great. I adore this movie.
Yeah, me too. It's fantastic. There's some really sly observations thrown in. There is some just like Kiki Palmer is great as Drew. SZA is really good. Vanessa Bell Calloway's a little underused as Mama Ruth, but she's good every time she's in there. Cat Williams it's probably one of Cat Williams' better on-screen performances of late. He had some good stuff back in the day, but it's been a while since I've seen him be in anything decent. To me, again, it's all subjective, and I probably missed a lot. Maud Apatow's solid. Janelle James is really fun in her section. Crap. I just totally brain farted on. Oh, the one that's chasing them. That's
Big Booty Bernice.
yes. Azia Scott. I had it written down. I just could not for the life of me remember the character's name for a second. She is great. She is fantastic as their adversary and one of their adversaries. And I always like to see I have her name written down too. It's in here somewhere. Ray Santiago pops up in a cameo in the beginning. He was from Ash in the versus the Evil Dead. It's always fun when I see him pop up. He was actually in something just a year or two ago with we just mentioned, she was in Borderline. We just mentioned it earlier. Samara Weaving, that was terrible. Her agent really must hate her. Kayla Magia, who is the loan officer. She's really good. It's always nice to see her pop up and stuff. She's a solid younger comedic actress that I hope continues to have an upward momentum with her career. And they all are really good with their roles, and there's a lot of really solid stuff going on, both on like up front and under the surface. And it does something I do wish they were a little bit more wigged out about the fact that they're all about to lose their homes to gentrification, but whatever. At least it got referenced a little. But I dug it. They announced not long ago that they're working on a sequel with Palmer and SZA reprising their roles, and most of the same production team. So I'm excited for it. Sony has knocked out at least 2 really solid releases this year. And this is a good one. It was written by I'm gonna say it wrong, and I feel so bad. Saretta Singleton, who was a showrunner on Rap Shit for HBO, and wrote Insecure, which if you haven't seen Insecure, it's also that was created by Issa Rae, who produced this, and it's based on her book Awkward Black Girl. But Insecure is really solid also. You should, I think, at least T and actually I think all 3 of you would enjoy it if you get a chance to see it. And well, anybody else. I think it ran for like 5 seasons. It ran for a good chunk of time. About 10 years ago, I think. But yeah, it's a good one. I really liked this one.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed this one. I'm a big fan of a genre like Crazy Night. I usually like kind of the dark ones. I like stuff like Miracle Mile, After Hours, Something Wild. I think that it might go over, but it's kind of the same kind of film. And this takes place in a day, but it's basically a One Crazy Night film. it's just a perfectly kind of economic way of telling a story. It's got a great pace. It just hits you with that ticking clock all the time, and it's just a really good economic way of like powering a story. And I really kinds of films, and I thought the cast were great. Kiki Palmer, we all love her here, and she's excellent and very funny as usual. I have never seen her before. She was just as good. She was very, very funny. Great chemistry between those two. They worked so well together. I'm glad to hear there's a sequel coming, and I feel like the chemistry they had together will be what made somebody pull the trigger on that. They're really, really good. I liked the supporting cast. I thought Maud Apatow was really good. I think I enjoyed the fact that it didn't go heavy on the stereotypes. Bluntest stereotype in the film is of the Secco girlie, which makes a change of seeing so many black stereotypes. So I liked the I don't know her name. Dave mentioned her, but she works at the credits, the lone place, and her cackling at the girls' credit score was very funny. I really liked it. I think if it follows a certain pattern, kind of bugged me. Like at the end of the, they fall out, and I know they're again, and it's very fucking. It's just it didn't really bother me. It's so well made. Like the costume design and set design. I think these costume designers probably had an absolute fucking blast trying to find those two emergency outfits for the two leads. I don't know what they would have tried to settle outfits that the leads wear for like half a film, but they were some excellent choices. It's just very sweet. It's very funny. I think the running joke of carries penis and being irresistible is a bit silly because my wife assures me that anything more than 3 3/4 inches just hurts. So that was a bit silly, but otherwise it's just a very, very fun and sweet film about not just friendship, but there's a strong sense of community towards the end of the film that I really liked, and it just gave it a nut. It already had a ton of heart as a friendship, but the community stuff just gives it that extra boost at the end, and it just feels like a film full of love, which I very sweet, and I look forward to the sequel. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, this was a firm favorite of mine since I first saw it, which was not a given because a lot of people said it's like a modernized take on Friday, but with two females in the main roles. And whether it's because of like when I saw it or where I saw it, I was never the biggest fan of Friday. I can't recall if I've seen the sequels, but I don't know. I mean, people who love Friday seem to really love Friday. And I was just like, no, it's okay. This, however, is brilliant. And I picked Chuck Stee, funnily enough, because I'd realised the other movies I picked were very female centric and threw in a bit of testosterone. But watching this was a nice reminder of how like it doesn't feel like the edges have been softened in any way, but it is remarkably sweet and sort of shows two people who in different ways are always supporting and helping one another in very different ways, but that becomes clear as you go through it. And much to my surprise, while I was watching this one, I noticed Vicky sort of stopped reading her book and was eyeing up. She, her eye was initially drawn to the big penis that she saw, and I was like, I know, babe, they can do anything with CGI nowadays. And then she just kept watching, and I think she generally enjoyed it. And so that was nice. I got to share it with her. I just think this is like it's constantly funny and constantly sweet and positive. Dave mentioned Singleton, who wrote it. I think it was director Lawrence Lamont working with Singleton on rap shit, maybe one or two other things. So they seem to do well. But yeah, it's Palmer and Sousa in the leads that make this. And like, Palmer's amazing. Like the way when she's at the door trying to kill time and distract Big Boo Bernice and doing all her mugging, it's really funny and it's ridiculous. And I just think like she's great. She shows a full range here. There's smart funny, there's dumb funny, there's her usual like great kind of badass self that she can pull out a bag when needs to be. There's her weird, shy jitteriness around a guy who's called Maniac, and she's wondering why he's called that, but she also finds him very attractive and handsome. She's great. Scissor's great at being, more of the kind of carefree spirit, but she's also just really sweet and lovely throughout. And I agree that all the supporting cast are generally really good for their roles. If it wasn't so good, I think it would seem ridiculous in the way things tie together at the end. But it is that good. Like it's one of those things where every setup has a payoff, and sometimes it's in the obvious ways you'd expect, and sometimes it either takes a little bit longer or it's a little bit less obvious when it pays off. But I like it. It all pays off brilliantly and ties together. It might be too neat and tidy for some, but I really, really loved that. As much as I loved, you do get a literal countdown on screen to tell you how many hours to so many deadlines, but the deadlines keep changing as well and what their fates will be. And I just really like that. It's a great film. It's it's a kind of, as Craig said, it's like a one crazy night film, but out in the bright sunshine, it just feels less it's not got the real danger and threat, although that's always hanging over the heads of our leads. But it's more about getting to spend time with these characters, enjoy the soundtrack and have some fun. Like even the little random touches like the is it the chicken nugget bandit or whatever who's going through the drive-through every time, stuff like that just makes me laugh a lot. And yeah, it was great. So I'm glad it worked for all. I knew like kind of this was the banker for Tyler, that I knew that if he hates Chuck Stee, Tyler can cleanse his palate with one of them days. And yeah, we're all fans of Kiki Palmer, so I knew this was this was going to be my safest choice in my mind. And then, because Dave still has his little bowl of negative with his negative spoon ready to scoop out, I shall pass things back to Craig for the next choice.
Thank you very much. While we're giving things away and like spoiling the end of the podcast, I will go with my favourite film of the week, which was Drugstore June. Drugstore June is about June, who works in a drugstore, and she's a slacker. She's a bit of an asshole, and she decides to maybe better herself by investigating the recent robbery of a drugstore she works in. Yeah, I absolutely loved this one. I thought this was great. There's a lot that I like about it, and I like the entire cast. But what I really loved was Esther Povitsky, who is not an actress I've ever heard before, but she plays June, and she plays June as I'm for June, which is adorable, because she is so. It's incredible how simultaneously adorable and entirely awful. She is just. She's vile to so many people. She says the most awful things. She does the most awful things. But I can't hate a woman who has a safe in her bedroom. She keeps her cupcakes in. She uses to like terrorize her brother with. It's just. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. She gets some great lines in this. Like she's the sort of character who, when she's talking to a man that she is stalking, she then asks, like, how was the Grand Canyon weather? She doesn't. She's so shameless in the awful things that she does that she just ends up just being quite. You can't help but love her a little. I'm such a big fan of the character. Her reaction shots are absolutely priceless. Her family life is. It feels very real, and the actors in it her mum and dad are played by Beverly D'Angelo and James Remar, and they nail the vibe of parents, but they've got great chemistry too. They've got great chemistry with each other. They got great chemistry with Esther. I think James Remar should do more comedy, because I was surprised by how funny he was. I think it loses a bit of steam in the back end, because it's very much like a kind of Shaggy Dog story kind of vibe, in the same way that Big Lebowski is. It's not in any hurry really to solve its mystery. It's more just spending time with his character, learning about her, enjoying some of her weird Jelly Bear fantasy, and her relationship with her family, her relationship with Bobby Lee, which is really cute. It's just it's a colourful, fun film with a really great lead who I just kind of adored. Like, it gets a little too dense with the funny lines, because not every can be funny, but somehow this still manages a good 7 out of 10 lines are hitting the marks. It's, even though it gets a bit too dense with them, it's an impressive kind of it hits at an impressive rate. I really enjoyed the film. I really enjoyed all of the cast. I really enjoyed the way it was shot. I thought the set design was really good. I thought the costume design was really good. But I just absolutely love Esther Povitsky, and I just love to see. I love to see a fairly awful character who I would ever want to spend 10 minutes with in my life, but just to for them to have something about them just makes me want to support them and want the best for them, and to want them to succeed and grow. In the same way, like if you watch Arrested Development, those characters are awful, but you kind of want them to move forward a little bit and become better people, and that's what Drugstore June was for me. I really enjoyed this one, Kevin.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one immensely as well. It kind of felt like a love letter to those late 2000s, early 2010s Apatow style comedies in a way, which I love because I love those movies. The lead character is severely annoying, yes, but I still found her like crazy likable. There was just something about her that I really liked, and I loved how Esther Povitsky played her. I mean, just super quirky, but also kind of super sweet in like a weird way. When I saw Bad Baby in the cast, the Catch Me Outside, How About That Girl, I was like, what the fuck is Kevin making us watch right now? And I can't believe I'm actually fucking saying this. She was actually really good in her little scene. I mean, she was like shockingly good, actually. Um, it was cool. It was cool to see Trevor Wallace pop up too. He's a super funny dude, and I love his podcast. He's a really funny, down to earth dude. The guy that directed Grandma's Boy made this. I fucking love Grandma's Boy, and we need to cover that one day. That's one of the best School of Sandler movies out there, in my opinion. Bobby Lee was funny as June's boss. I really liked Haley Joel Osment in this. This might be one of his best adult roles to date. It's always good to see Beverly D'Angelo and James Remar pop up. They're great. I mean, in a way, I can see why someone wouldn't dig this one because, yes, the lead is definitely one of those unique characters that's very hard to follow for 90 minutes. But I liked her a lot in this, and I really like this movie a lot. So, yeah, this was another solid pick, Kevin. This was good stuff.
Excellent.
I'm gonna wildly fucking disagree.
Here
Wildly
comes Dave
disagree.
with his big
Here comes
negative
Dave
joke.
because no, because this is a non-fucking character. She is a fucking Reddit joke at millennials. She is a fucking meme that your racist aunt shared on Facebook 10 years ago about, oh, the millennials are destroying everything because they need their safe spaces and bullshit. That's what she fucking is. And there's nothing redeeming about her. And nobody sees anything redeeming about her at all, except the movie needs to have you like her at the end so everybody forgives her for being a piece of shit. She's not funny, and that's obvious. Ultimately, the problem. The actress Esther Pivitsky plays it fine. It's just poorly written. She wrote this with Nicholaus Goossen, who is still a shitty director since he made the shitty fucking Grandma's Boys, a film I also fucking abhor. His whole career comes down to he jerks off Adam Sandler on occasion. But this movie is so bad, it's the only time Adam Sandler said no to a friend of his and instead sent his wife to cameo in it. She's the female detective, by the way. The rest of it just rides a decent supporting cast of solid comic talent. Al Madrigal is funny, generally. He's the other detective. Amanda Cosgrove can be funny. Haley Joel Osment is a funny dude when he's in comedies. Brandon Wardell, who plays her brother, is a decent stand-up in his own right. James Remar, Beverly D'Angelo is a fucking gold and always is. Bill Burr has a small cameo. Bad Barbie pops up because Goossen also directed, I think, 2 or 3 of her music videos. And but the rest, like Ms. Pat shows up. Ms. Pat's hilarious. This is a bad movie with a terrible script that rides a solid cast doing a lot of heavy lifting to make it passably cute. But at the end of the day, it's uninteresting and nothing happens in it. It is just a slog. I will say, Pivitsky's got a TV show produced by Lonely Island called Alone Together. I think there's a second season coming, or there was a second season. And that's better than this if Craig really needs to get his Pivitsky on.
I do.
Then there you go. It's better than this. You enjoy it. She has a stand-up special also, but it's terrible. I said it.
Well, this was the one that I thought would be the most divisive because I really liked this. And again, it's one that I saw a trailer for it and I thought, yeah, I'm going to just dive in and give this a go. And I loved it. But there's no way you can watch this and think, everyone else I mentioned this to will love it. You can, while you're watching it, you know that someone could be sitting right beside you and absolutely hate this for the whole of its runtime. It's the central character is annoying. The story is quite well. I think Craig said a kind of shaggy dog story. So it's ultimately quite inconsequential. It is an excuse to have this comic creation in the midst of something where they can interact with different people and not change, more kind of change the perception of the people around them slightly on how they view her. And yeah, I love it. I think it worked really well. I get what you're saying, Dave, about it is the easy gags of the observations about the millennials and stuff. I just think it's really well done. And I think Like I think it's a great comedic character performance from Pavitsky. I don't like her character, but I'm kind of mesmerized by how sort of self-absorbed and unaware she is. I didn't sort of view I I'm won around by the end, but she hasn't really changed much. She acts as if she's changed in ways that are enough for people who are looking for a bit of closure or to move on. But she's kind of the same as when we first meet her. So I don't think the film tries to do any big bullshit redemptive arc or anything like that. I just think it's 90 minutes of here's this character, we're going to have fun with her because this is someone ridiculous, but they also have a sweetness to them, and you will see, you know, both of these sides as we move through. Like that first meeting with the cops in the pharmacy, where she's giving all her social media handles instead, and try to like clarify they're just wanting her name. Like that really works for me. That's a lot of fun. Her whole conversation with Matt Walsh in the bar, where she's trying to get answers, really works well for me. I think those two kind of spar really well. And then when he's saying, "Give me a follow on Instagram," she's like so sad. And Bill Burr just being the doctor who doesn't give a shit and won't put up with her BS is those are little moments that work really well because they really crystallize that clash, that difference, which also comes about with her parents and her, and they're trying to deal with her. But then, I mean, there's a moment of jubilation when the parents think she's about to move out immediately, and then she goes on about uh, within a certain time scale, and the celebrations die down a bit. I just think it's consistently funny, and that's mainly due to like Pavitsky giving such a brilliant comedic performance in the lead. Like this is I think this is a great um yeah, just a great comedy character at the heart of it, and it's played just pretty perfectly. So I love it. I I knew that it could be one that would be easy to dislike or hate. So I'm glad you found some stuff in it to enjoy, Dave, even if it was
I just
part of
wish
that
they thought up a
resistance
single joke they
towards me.
hadn't stolen.
Well, you know, they can steal like June steals her
Not
meal
every
from the
not
fast food
every
place.
joke. Every joke shouldn't be recognizable from something else.
I've
Anyway,
accidentally made us watch two films this week where someone steals food from fast food restaurants. There we go. The
yeah, but one was
connections are
funny.
there. They are both funny.
You'd
Go
lie.
on, negative Nelly. Go on to Babes. Go
Uh,
complain about Babes. Just spit in the faces of cute babies. Go on.
I mean, I would totally spit in the face of fucking babies. Fuck babies. Your baby's ugly. Babes came out in 2004. It's directed by Pamela Adlon, who also she voices Bobby Hill on King of the Hill. If you did
It
not
came out
know that.
last year, Dave. Not 2004. I'm just going to stop you there.
I said 2024,
Before you.
didn't I? Did
No,
I
I
say
said
2004? Oh,
2004.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
Just,
my
just
bad.
in case anyone starts
2024.
looking around for it.
I was thinking about King of the Hill, which makes me think about the early 2000s. Anyway, it's directed by Bobby Hill, who also I think this is her first feature. She made her acting debut in Grease 2, though, if that makes Tyler like this one better.
She was also Charlie Runkle's wife in Californication.
She was, yeah, and she was in Boston Legal, which is just another solid comedy series. She's had a good career in camera, but this is her directorial debut. It stars Ileana Glazer, who co-wrote it with Josh Rabinowitz, and co-stars Michelle Bitow. I think I said that right. I'm so sorry if I didn't. It's about Eden, a single woman, and her best friend, Dawn. Dawn has 2 kids, and Eden gets knocked up after a fateful meeting with a man named Claude, who then disappears for a very good reason. And it's about Eden's pregnancy and the 2 women's relationship, and Babes is fucking hilarious. Glazer and I'm gonna say it wrong again. I'm so sorry. Batow are not only do they work incredibly well together, but they're both really funny people. Glazer, of course, did crap. Broad
City.
City on Comedy
Mhm.
Central. Yep, which is fantastic. I mean, she did Broad City for like a good decade because it was a web series originally. She wrote the horror film False Positive. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did not like that.
I heard.
Yeah,
Not seen that one.
I haven't seen it. I know about it. I didn't watch it because even though it has Pierce Brosnan, the setup just made me go. "Eh." But anyway, this is the opposite. I really enjoyed this. This time I actually liked the quirky characters because they were actual characters with emotions and range and feelings, and not just an SNL sketch stretched to the bursting point and then continued to stretch until I wanted to kill everyone in the room. Um, yeah, I really like this. I just don't have much to say about it. The supporting cast is really good. John Carroll Lynch is and has always been a solid supporting actor, uh, who tragically is probably best known by audience today as Twisty the Clown from American Horror Story. But he's been around forever. He was in Fargo and the Drew Carey Show. He's always
Zodiac's
a
the one for
solid
me. I'm always going to remember in Zodiac.
also. Yeah. Yeah, I have issues with his Zodiac, and not him. He's great in it, but the rhetorical point of him being there and the choices in that. But I'll get to it when we finally watch Zodiac, which has been on, I think, all our lists forever. We just haven't pulled the trigger. Um, they're really good. Oliver Platt's solid in his little bit, but he's just an extended, he's a cameo that pops up twice. Same with Sandra Bernhard. They're both fine, but they're barely in it. Stephen James is the baby daddy, and his scenes with Glazer are fantastic. It's probably one of the best whirlwind romances I've seen in a film in recent years. They work well together. They have chemistry, and they're fun. Hassan Minja is Michelle Batow's character's husband, and he's really good too. He has some really damn good scenes. It's a solid one. I really, really enjoyed this. I missed it when it had ran in theaters. Just it came out, at a bad time for me. And I'd heard a few good things, but it seems most folks had missed it. But
Mhm.
it's solid. Neon's really good with their acquisitions, and this was a good pickup by them. I wouldn't say it's like the best comedy ever, but it's definitely a solid. I'm gonna bet it's a solid Kevin 8, 7.8 at the very least.
All
It's
the choices this week were 9s, Steve.
damn okay.
All of them.
I
Yeah.
am shocked that it was a 7.9. It's really good. It's the vignettes on motherhood and female friendship are a little touching and often funny, even though it is, it is disjointed and unrealistic. But I enjoyed it for what it is. But none of these, we couldn't call a single one of these fucking movies realistic this week, so I wouldn't hold that against it. It's a fucking comedy of vignettes. I really like this one, Babes.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome, dear.
I'll go if you want to.
Don't all rush at once, Craig. It's you go,
I'll
Craig.
go. I'll
You
go.
fucking wait, Tyler. Just fucking wait.
I'm looking at my notes, and that film don't exactly what part of the film all my notes come from. So my notes are just savagely disgusting. These are just one after the other. It's just I've just written just some drippage. The Gordon Ramsay of my pussy. It's more like you babied on your shit. I've never been cummed. There's a lot of disgusting lines in it. I can't remember where it came from. Make it up again. It's a very well written film. I really enjoyed this one. I'm a big fan of Ilana Glazer. I loved Broad City so much. Her partnership with Abby Jacobson is a beautiful thing. That it's absolutely wonderful. I think part of what harms I really enjoyed the film. I think part of what harms it is how much I loved God's sake, Broad City. I mean, I think Michelle Buteau is fine in this. I think she's good in this. But when I watch someone spend 5-6 seasons having the best possible chemistry you can have with Alana and Abby, their chemistry is so fantastic that watching someone with just good chemistry with her just comes off as disappointing, and it can't really be helped. But it's just how it is. But the other thing is, with Abby and Ilana, they're very different characters, and that's what makes them bounce off each other so well. And even though Michelle Buteau's character in this is meant to be more mature, I still feel like they're very much the same character, bouncing off the same character, and it just doesn't work as well as I wanted it to. I think they're both very funny, and they're both very funny together, but that friendship doesn't click with me as hard as the central friendship in Broad City does. It's my fault for having watched and loved Broad City, I guess. It sets a standard that this can't really hit, but it's still really fucking good. There are so many good gags. Like the Omen sight gag is fantastic. John Carroll Lynch's the changing in his hair, the Kangol hat is beautiful. The romance is really good, and I'm not a fan of how they worked that storyline and how they ended that storyline as it does, because it's some of the best meet cute chemistry I've ever seen. It's so fantastic, and it gave me a band name. If I ever start a band, it's going to be called Sushi. I wish that had been built on. Like, there are parts of the story and there are relationships in the don't 100% click with me. But when it's just being funny, it's being really funny. The Gordon Ramsay of my pussy. I'm just remembering what part of the film that came from, and that's just making me laugh again. It's mostly Ilana Glazer. I just fucking love her. She has unparalleled energy no one else comes close to, and she uses it well here because she gets to dampen it towards the end of the film. She gets pregnant and more exhausted, and it works so well for her. I think maybe it's about 20-25 minutes too long, to be honest. I think it could be quite brutally snipped. I mean, I think to me this is like an expanded or Broad City episode mixed with the bearable films of Woody Allen, because this definitely felt like that, just because the main character is Jewish and is set in New York and people sit on the bench. I definitely felt the influence of Woody Allen in this, the kind of Annie Hall or Deconstructing Harry. The films like, okay, this is quite good even though I hate him. That's the vibe I got. Broad City, Woody Allen, and because it has that Woody Allen vibe, it is too long. It is a bit too packed with gags. There are bits trying to make me cringe. There's a bit where the two characters are calling each other bitch, and they're ad-libbing calling each other bitch in different tones, and it goes on for too long, and it just made me cringe. But for the most part, it was very funny. Alana Glazer will always crack me up no matter what she does. I just have a real soft spot for her, and I quite like Broad City back. So this is a very good film that is probably better if you haven't rewatched Broad City recently, but still really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, once again, I really like this one a lot, and the cast again is so good. I just really connected with both the lead characters in this, especially Eden. I love Alana Glazer. She's funny, extremely likable. Just I've loved her since Broad City. Broad City is great, and she's great in it. Um, the comedy is like the perfect mix of raunch and heartfelt, but it's also not afraid to get like gross too, which and still managing to stay a sweet little comedy about pregnancy and friendship and motherhood, which I loved. I love the comedy in this. It's well written, it's funny, it's well directed. As Dave mentioned, I had no idea this was directed by Charlie Runkle's wife from Californication until I saw the credits, and I've always loved her. She's really good, and she's a good filmmaker as well. She has the knack to make comedy. But yeah, this was another solid win for Kevin this week. I can't remember the last time I liked all four movies in a special. This is like the exact opposite of our Alex DeGlacius special, which I hated them all. I loved them all here. So yeah,
Or
this
our
was
Star Wars special.
fuck.
He loved Caravan of Courage. Come the fuck on. Who
No, I
does?
like what was the one where all the Ewoks got like brutally murdered? That was Battle of Frendor, right?
That
I like
it's
that.
Battle for Endor. That
I
is
like
the
that
I
one.
like.
Yes, I did like that one.
Well, uh, if you know when you're picking for next week, Craig, now's probably the perfect time just to get the Phoenician scheme out of the way. I'm just saying, just well, Tyler. So
After this,
let's
I'm being
get.
nice to all Kevin's pick. He's telling Craig to pick a fucking Wes Anderson movie.
Even I've
No,
got no
I'm just
interest in
saying.
that, Wes. I just it's doing nothing for me.
You're nice. You're just
Yeah,
not nice enough. T.
same. No, you are, and I generally I'm pleasantly surprised by overall how well this has gone down this week. This quartet, which is what I hoped for. I hoped we would have some fun, have some laughs, and I think that succeeded. I really liked Babes from the first time I saw it, and yeah, like it's a strong opening, no pun intended, with the sort of the date between the two leads, and then the rush to get the baby delivered, and that was where the did I just shit on my baby? Well, more like you just babied on your shit. Moment comes from, which is it's very it's ridiculous and also has that truth to it. Particularly when she's like grabbing her husband and then pushing him away and then grabbing him back, and he just looks like both caring and quite terrified at the same time, which is how you often are in that situation. I I I just think this is really funny. I get what Craig means about the how it could work with some sort of brutal editing, cutting it down by I mean I would say maybe 10-15 minutes, but I still think it does well enough throughout to maintain a decent pace. Um, all of the different moments, even the sequence with Glazer realizing how ridiculously horny she gets while pregnant is very funny. Um, considering all of the options she looks over and thinks are inappropriate but are also very sexy. That's great. Her getting applications for someone to help her through the end of her pregnancy is great. The what I like about Babes most is that it focuses on the leads. It obviously has the the baby event at the heart of it, but it makes room for the others. So that's why I I don't think the timing ever bothers me so much. Like you get the fun stuff with the doctor and that sequence with the massive needle. has me
Oh,
bursting out laughing every time, and her reaction every time. And I'm sure many women have looked at that kind of needle in exactly the same way and had similar
yeah, I
reactions.
felt that.
But it's so funny when she's wanting just gagged and blindfolded. But yeah, so you get the moments of John Carroll Lynch being funny as the Doctor and the gag with his hair, but you also you get Hassan Minaj as the husband, like having it's just it's a ridiculous comedy with the many moments sprinkled throughout, but there are also like nicely authentic moments, whether it's a married couple having days where everything just feels a bit shit and are a bit tired, whether it's the inequality that goes to either side of the scale when you're in a really close and good friendship, but sometimes one needs a bit more help and doesn't necessarily notice your needs, or it goes the other way. And you see that with the way Glazer's character is through the first half, and then at some points later on, you see Michelle Buteau's character be seem to be a little bit selfish and kind of unaware of the extra support her friend needs, while she herself is just wanting a bit of a break from the strains of motherhood. I like that it has time for those moments and all of the characters to have this kind of anchor point in reality in between all the great gags and big laughs. So I just think it's a kind of nicely well-rounded piece when it could have just been all of the great gags one after another. And I like it. It balances them out without ever leaving you feeling sort of too far away from the next laugh, even if it's just a little throwaway line here and there, or too far away from the next moment that feels nicely emotionally connected between the characters. So I'm a big fan, and I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
All right, it's that time. It's time to pick one. Let's
One
hear
of them
Kevin's
days.
favorite first. Hold on. We know
Oh,
everybody else's. What's Kevin's?
yeah, I was gonna say.
Honestly, I really have given all these an out of 10. I think, gun in my head, I will go One of Them Days. It was either that or Chuck Steele, because I wanted to give more love to Chuck Steele, but I think Kiki Palmer and SZA and the supporting cast really win out for One of Them Days.
Tink?
Yeah, one of them days for me.
It is one of them days for me also. So Craig,
Yeah, I'm
break
just
that
going to give it,
combo.
even though it doesn't really matter about getting a sweep because they're all Kevin's choices. I'll go with One of Them Days as well. I think Drugstore Judy was my favourite, but Days filled me full of shame, and I'm just gonna go with just One of Them Days. One of Them Days.
Well,
As soon as we finish recording the podcast, Craig's going to open his little safe and get his cupcake out.
he's gonna go watch her TV series. But if it makes you feel better, how about we switch pick weeks and I'll let you pick next week. Just as a mea
Oh
culpa
yeah, go on
for
then.
making you
Go
feel
on
bad.
then.
Yeah, okay.
All right then. Well, because Kevin's bringing back comedy, I thought I would be a 20th century comedy, which I think is one of the best of the century so far. It's a challenging one, and then I was just about to pick. I was about to write it down in my notes as my pick, and then I was scrolling through the the different channels on Prime TV, the different subscription channels, and I just happened across a new one, which I thought was called 50 Action, but it wasn't. When I looked closely, it was called 50 Cent Action, and it was a brand new subscription channel, which was curated for some reason by 50 Cent. I thought it's just bizarre. And then I noticed a film I loved back in its VHS days, and I haven't seen for maybe 30 years. So we're going to watch that. We're going to watch Kickboxer 3, The Art of War. It's pretty bad,
Wow.
but I have a lot of love for it.
You just made Kevin have to watch Kickboxer 1 and 2 also. You know that, right?
No.
You,
First of all,
it'll-
I've seen Kickboxer 1 many times.
then you only have to
and
watch 2.
I don't believe that. I don't believe they're cinematically connected.
It's
scenes.
way too complex if you do
Yeah.
the way you'll understand the subtle nuances of Kickboxer 3, The Art of War.
I've seen all of them, but they are they are connected.
It's true.
So I am not going comedy either. I'm going super Tylerific, and I'm going with a depressing ass movie about teenagers and drugs. We're watching Good Girl Jane from 2022.
Okay.
All right. So since he led us here, Spartacus, can you give him the business, or should I just make Tyler do it again?
I've been up since 4:30 a.m. Please have Tyler do it again. I can barely remember my own name at the moment.
Tyler, give him the business.
We're on the gram, Raiders _of_the_ podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can watch Kevin's awesome videos weekly. We have a Discord, we have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll talk to you next week.
See you next week.
See ya.
See ya.
What the hell was that?